NCAA basketball totals for Saturday, March 11th. This is it. We got some championship games going on here. I just have one game on the card, guys. I really looked at a lot of these totals, and oddsmakers are dialed in, but I think we have some value on this one game, and that's Michigan and Minnesota. And I'm going to go under the total of 138 here. And I'll talk about that in just a second. Before I do that, though, don't forget we're going to have our NBA live segment coming up on Sunday. That's going to be at 5 o'clock Eastern. You want to tune in and check that one out. We talk about everything, including, of course, the NBA totals, which is the title of the segment. This segment here for you new guys, where we look at NCAA totals, where I usually have 2 or 3 games up, but it's just been one game. It's just been it was just one game yesterday and one game today, because oddsmakers are dialed in on these totals. They've been tough. So yesterday we had a loss with North Carolina, and Duke took a shot on the under there, and they obviously went over with Duke with a nice upset. Today, though, I think Michigan and Minnesota are going to play to a pretty good defensive battle here, and I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to back under this 138. Still, we're having a really good season in NCAA totals, so not a lot to complain about. Let's go ahead. Let's start talking about this game just a little bit. I'm also going to talk about some spread picks. So you might want to hang around here for just a second. It's not going to be a long segment, but there are some games that kind of intrigue me just a bit. SBRpicks.com, Sportsbook Review, YouTube channel, Facebook page, and you got to check that stuff out. Sportsbook Review, we got all the sign-up bonuses, blacklist you got to check out, things of that nature. Let's talk about this game here. Really good matchup. Michigan's been playing some good ball. Now, they just met up just a little while back with going overtime. They ended up 83-78, where Minnesota beat Michigan at home. And the final of that game was 144, where they scored 17 points in overtime. So, that's still 144. That's still well over this 138. When we look at the total set by oddsmakers, though, they had it at 136.5. So they did get really crazy on the number. And when we've seen Michigan play Minnesota the last several times, the number has not fluctuated a ton between like around 135 to 140. It's always been kind of in that area. But what I like in this matchup is simply, I don't think the pace is going to be super fast when you have a Michigan team that averages just 54.5 attempts per game. That ranks outside the top 300 teams in NCAA hoops. Then you got Minnesota. They like to go a little bit quicker. However, despite the fact they do that, they play really good defense. You got a Minnesota team right now. They rank 14th in the country, allowing opponents to shoot just 39.6% from the floor. Really solid numbers. Michigan, not quite as solid, but what I like is the fact they're allowing opponents to get up just 52.9 attempts per game, which ranks 27th in the country. So they've been doing a really nice job, so far on the year as far as controlling tempo. And right now they're allowing just over 65 points per game. They rank 35th in the Michigan now. They rank 35th in the country in scoring defense. Minnesota, despite their pace, which is quicker than Michigan, they're allowing just 69 points. So I think the defenses are going to step up in this, in this Big Ten matchup here. It's just going to be a fantastic game. So we got some other games going on that are more championship caliber. This isn't one of them. This is just the prequel this is the semifinal. Sorry, that's going on out there. Just some really good games going on all across the board. And something I do want to mention. So we got in the Big Ten, you got Michigan taking on Minnesota, and then Wisconsin's going to take on Northwestern just a little bit later for the final. That's going to happen on Sunday. So there'll be a few games on Sunday that I'll probably want to talk about. I'm probably not going to get to them because the time's going to be off, I think. Sorry about that. Well, let's talk about some spreads for these games that are going on Saturday. We'll do that. And for Sunday, we'll just have our regular NBA segment. We might catch a game or two. We'll just have to see, check out the times that those final games are at. Well, back to this total real quick. That 138, it seems set just about right by oddsmakers because they did go over the 136.5 last time they met up. But again, these defenses are solid. Really important game. They're looking to trying to get to that championship where they're going to, face either Wisconsin or Northwestern. And I just do not see the tempo going to be up and down track meet, kind of way. And just the way they match up, they really counter each other. Where Michigan is a pretty efficient team, Minnesota's really good defensively across the board. And then you got a Michigan team that lacks a little bit defensively, but Minnesota is not that great of a shooting team. They're shooting just 43.4% from the floor. So it's going to be interesting to see, how this meshes in this semifinal game. I believe Michigan is favored a little bit. Let me double check that. I mean, at least they should be. They should be a slight favorite. Yeah, they're a 3-point favorite right now. So let's talk about some spreads. So for that game, I like under the 138 with Minnesota, Michigan. That's my one total play of the day. Now some totals I want to talk about real quick going into that day. We got Davidson versus Rhode Island. Davidson's getting 3 points. I like Davidson here. They've been playing some really good basketball. Big upset against Dayton. They're a well-coached team, so I kind of like Dayton getting the points. Alabama versus Kentucky, I have no opinion. That could go either way, but Alabama plays such a good defense, they might be able to hang within the number. Right now, they're getting 10.5. That Minnesota-Michigan game, I like the total, so I'm going to lay off the number there. That number seems just about right. Michigan's playing some good ball. Maybe grab the points with Minnesota. That's going to be a tight contest right there. And then we got one other game I did want to talk about, and that is Yale versus Harvard. I like Yale getting the points there. That's a pretty good Yale squad there, getting 2.5 against a Harvard team that's been kind of up and down this year. So those are the games I like. Really are just, well, I just mentioned two really is what I like for tomorrow. As we still have some question marks out there right now as games are still finishing up. Like right now as I'm making this video, UCLA is taking on Arizona. Davidson plus the points. I like Yale plus the points. So those are going to be some really good matchups right there. And that's it for the spread pick. So a little bit of adding on there to our regular total segment with some spread plays. This is what we do in our live segment, so you want to check that out. Anyways, that's it for today. So we got one total pick, couple spread picks right there, but the total's the big one, of course, because that's what the segment's really all about. Michigan, Minnesota under the 138. And I wish you guys luck on your picks today.
We hope you enjoyed the video. Hey, don't miss out on the best basketball betting content available on YouTube. Click our logo button on the bottom left to subscribe. And as always, guys, give us a like and drop your comments below because we want to hear from you. Visit our website to take advantage of all our free products.